What's up, everybody? It's Garrett, American Muscle HD. But behind me right now is the 2019 Ford Mustang Bullitt. I want to thank Ford again for loaning me these vehicles and trusting me with them. You know, the first couple videos I did were Dodges, and the next two obviously are with Ford, so who knows, the next two after that might be Chevys. If you're not familiar with the Bullitt Mustang, the original Bullitt was from the movie with Steve McQueen called Bullitt, where he drove a 1968 Mustang GT Fastback 390 car through the streets of San Francisco, chasing and being chased by a 68 Charger. Because of that movie, it kind of spiraled into a thing where they were like, all right, well, we ought to make this into a model that you can get. So basically it's just a GT Mustang with some appearance packages. The paint coat on this car, the dark Highland green, is pretty famous for this car, considering that was the color that the 68 Fastback was in the movie. So over the course of the years since 68, this is the fourth iteration of the Bullitt Mustang. They didn't reintroduce the Bullitt Mustang until 01 in the new Edge body style. And then after that, they brought it back in 08 for the S197 body style. And then this is the last of the newest one they've come out with for the S550 body style. There's not many visual cues for this car. It actually doesn't have very much badging at all, to be honest. It doesn't have the Mustang logo on the grille. It doesn't have a Mustang logo on the door. It doesn't have any kind of GT badging. The only badge it has on the exterior is on the trunk lid, which is the Bullitt emblem. That's the only thing that gives it away, minus the dark Highland green paint job. And these American Racing Torque Thrust Ds. There's not much else that gives it away, considering that it's a Bullitt. I've actually had somebody at the show that I'm at this weekend come to me. He's never even heard of a Bullitt before. I mean, I find that a little hard to believe, to be a car guy. But then again, you know, some people sometimes it kind of slips through the cracks. Like the regular Mustang GT, this car has a 5-liter Coyote motor, but this one has a little bit more horsepower than the standard GT. It has 480 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque, as opposed to the regular GTs that only have 460 horsepower. They both have 6-speed manuals. This car only comes in a 6-speed manual, which is pretty proper considering a lot of muscle cars these days, and a lot of cars in general, are going away from manuals simply because, sad to say, my age group doesn't know how to drive them. It's pretty pitiful, but that's just kind of how it is. As an ode to this car's heritage, they kept the cue ball shift knob, which is pretty cool. And moving on to the interior of the car, that's where you start seeing where this car becomes the Bullitt Mustang. They kind of added some small little visual cues to kind of give it away. And actually something that I caught just today, my buddy pointed it out to me that I didn't even realize, is that the stitching in the seats and on the dashboard is actually dark green to match the paint, which is pretty cool. It's a real subtle thing that you don't notice, that you can overlook very easily. But like I said, alongside that, you have the Bullitt emblem on the dashboard right above the airbag that says the body code, which is MP024, I believe. And then you also have the Bullitt emblem directly in the middle of the steering wheel on the airbag. And that's really about it in the interior. One thing I love about these new Mustangs that you don't see, that I have not seen in any other manual vehicle that's out right now, is it has automatic rev matching built into the transmission. Probably one of the coolest features about this car. Now, many people will say, oh, well, that kind of takes away the whole fun of owning a manual car. You're not heel towing and downshifting. Well, heel towing is cool, and matching the revs yourself is cool only when you want to do it. But when you're in traffic and you have to if you have to downshift, you don't want to be riding your brakes all the time, it gets really annoying because sometimes you won't do it as smooth and it'll buck and your head starts to hurt after a while. It gets really annoying. But this car, you can literally drop it into each gear and it'll automatically match the rev, and you let the clutch out and it's the smoothest thing ever. It is the coolest feature about this car, if I have to say so myself. Also with this car, one of the options that comes with it is the Magna Ride suspension. When you go to adjust the different modes in the car, from normal mode to Sport Plus, track, when you go from normal to Sport Plus to track mode, it really does stiffen up this car. But it's not to the point where you don't want to drive on it a long period of time. I drove all the way from Atlanta to Bowling Green in track mode, which is pretty stiff suspension, pretty stiff steering, or really weighted steering, and it rode great. You know, I had no real problems. You know, I'd hit bumps and it didn't, you know, shake my teeth and give me a headache. So it works really well. It rides really, really nice. Tracks down the road really nice. The base price on this car is $46,595. When you add the Bullitt's electronics package and the MagnaRide suspension plus delivery and handling, it comes out to just over $51,000. Now, I had a friend of mine ask me on Instagram, he said, when, you know, referring to the Ranger, and I told him how much that cost, he said, or actually he was referring to this car, he said, is it worth the money? I won't lie to you, this car is a blast to drive. You know, it's got just enough power to have, you know, have fun and get in trouble, but it's not too much that you feel like it's gonna, you know, it's not enough to handle, or it's too much to handle. So, along with that, you know, with that being said, it's a great car. Mustangs don't, you know, get too much bad rap. You know, I feel like it's way more of a driver thing than it is a car thing. This car is very easy to drive under any circumstances. I've driven it in the rain, I've driven it on dry pavement, and I don't, you know, I don't understand the stigma that they get. Well, I appreciate you guys watching this video. Hopefully more videos will come soon after this. These two Ford videos have been a blast. Hopefully I'll get more in the future, but I'm hoping I can maybe do some Chevys next. So that way I can have the whole trilogy, and then who knows, maybe we'll do some stuff that's not American. You know, everybody that's into cars should appreciate anything, even if it's not American. I want to thank my buddy Caleb for helping me film this video. I want to thank Ford for giving me the car this week. And yeah, until next time, be sure to like and subscribe, and then follow me on Instagram, American Muscle HD. Appreciate it.